Today, I'm going to share with you 6 things I wish I would have known before I started rebounding. When I first got my rebounder, I used to think you had to jump super high, do long workouts, and push harder to get results. And boy, was I wrong. Some of the biggest benefits actually come from doing less than you probably think. And after teaching fitness and working out with hundreds of women in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond, I've learned what actually matters when it comes to getting started safely and confidently on the rebounder. So if you're new or just curious to rebounding, this video is going to save you a lot of guesswork. Let's dive in. All right, the first thing I wish I would have known before I started rebounding is that your feet don't actually have to leave the mat. When I first started, I thought the bigger the bounce, the bigger the results. But over time, I learned, especially for beginners, myself included, the opposite is true. Some of the best benefits come when your feet actually stay connected on the mat. I often teach my beginners a gentle health bounce, which is the perfect place to start. So instead of trying to jump high, you simply press your feet down into the mat and then let that rebound push you upward. Your feet barely leave the surface, if at all. And this is easier on your joints. It helps you build that confidence and helps you feel a little bit more stable as you learn the movement. So you don't have to bounce high to get results. You basically just have to start. All right, before we move on, I would love for you to download my free new resource. It's called the Beginner Safety Guide to Rebounding, and it walks you through everything you need to know to get started safely and confidently. And you can download that in the links down below. All right, shoes or no shoes? This is a very common question I get from my beginner rebounders, and there's no perfect answer here. It really depends on your body and your level of comfort. What I don't recommend is ever just wearing plain socks. Now, if you have the socks with the grippy soles, and you feel comfortable, you can try those. If you're brand new, if you feel unsteady, or if you have foot or ankle concerns, definitely put on a pair of supportive athletic shoes as the best place to start. Okay, and these add stability and a little bit of cushioning while you learn the movement. Now, for myself, I've been practicing this for quite a while. I prefer barefoot, and this gives me the ability to kind of make adjustments, challenge my balance a little bit, and it's a great way to strengthen my feet over time. So you might try that, but of course, if you're brand new, start with what feels safest to you, and you can always make adjustments later down the road. All right, the third thing I wish I would have known when I first started rebounding is to start small. 2 minutes is often just right. One of the biggest mistakes that beginners make is they think that they need to go hard for long workouts right away. When I first started rebounding, I quickly realized that 2 minutes on the rebounder can feel like a full workout. And I had been a runner for many years, so I thought I had that endurance build up, but this is a different kind of endurance. Rebounding engages muscles that you don't typically use when you're walking or running or doing other activities, and it challenges your balance at the same time. But of course, your body quickly adapts. So if you're brand new to this, start with just 2 minutes a day. Then maybe build up to 3, 4, 5, maybe gradually make your way up to 10 minutes if that feels okay. But let your body be your guide. We're not trying to go for intense workouts right out of the gate. Consistency beats intensity every single time. All right, before we move on, you might be curious what rebounder I like the most. I've tried a whole bunch of them. My favorite is the one I'm sitting on right here. It's by Fed Fitness. It's the Beacon B24. If you want more information about it, I'll leave some info in the links down below. You can check it out there. Okay. Number 4, what I wish I would have known before I started rebounding is regarding the lymphatic system. Now, if you've been in the rebounding space for any period of time, you might have heard that rebounding detoxes the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is important for fluid balance and our immune function. But research linking rebounding to detox claims is very limited. As a nurse, I always want to go back to science-based research. What we do know about rebounding is it supports your circulation, your muscle engagement, your cardiovascular health, your energy levels. It boosts your mood. These are real, measurable benefits. There are a lot of exaggerated claims in the fitness space, and I prefer to stick with what we can actually see with research support. Now, I'm not saying that rebounding doesn't support your lymphatic system. It's just the evidence right now is just not there. So maybe instead of thinking detox, maybe think movement, circulation, low impact support, better mind-body health, and just overall well-being for your entire body. Number 5, rebounding is so much more than cardio. When I first started rebounding, I just thought this was strictly a cardio activity. And yes, of course, your heart rate is going to increase, your breath rate's going to increase just like it would in a normal aerobic activity. But what surprised me more than anything was how much it challenged my balance. When you're moving on this unstable surface, you are challenging the movements of your feet, your ankles, your hips, even your core muscles, or especially your core muscles. And these areas are constantly making these micro adjustments. And that builds coordination, that builds balance, stability, and control. And that's one of the reasons I love recommending rebounding to women as we age. It might look simple, but it truly trains your entire system. Number 6, safety always comes first. Please check with your healthcare provider if you have any medical concerns. Be especially cautious if you've had recent surgery, history of vertigo or dizziness, severe osteoporosis, unstable joints, degenerative disc disease in your spine, uncontrolled blood pressure, pregnancy or recent pregnancy, or pelvic floor concerns. Remember, movement should always feel safe and supported in your body, not forced. And if rebounding for whatever reason is not for you, there is certainly another physical aerobic activity that can be very supportive to you. And just a closing thought. You don't need long, intense workouts to see benefits of rebounding. Even just 2 to 10 minutes a day can support your balance, your circulation, your energy levels, your mood levels, your overall well-being. So start small, stay consistent, and let your body adapt as you go. If this video helped, please subscribe for weekly workouts and tips like this. And if you want to give it a try, I'm going to leave a 2-minute beginner health bounce right here. So that's a perfect way to start if you're just starting to build some confidence on your rebounder. And I'll see you over there.